Hey, everybody, welcome back to another edition of Insights with Anthony. Each day I pull a medicine card. Well, almost every day I pull a medicine card. And for those of you who don't know, this is what medicine cards are. There's the back of them. But these are kind of Native American tarot cards that are based on the energies of animals, right? And I was gifted this set of cards by my first mentor, who saw in me the ability to understand the meaning behind the energy of these cards when I first picked them up. And that was over 20 years ago. And she'd had them for many, many years, and they were gifted to her. And so these are really special to me. They're not the most recent edition of those cards, obviously, by how tore up these things are, or well used they are. But at any rate, so today, as I was starting my morning, like I said, I generally try to pull one of these. And today, the card that I pulled is this. And let's see if that can come in. There we go. Porcupine. And, if you look at the nature of this animal, this is a very gentle animal, right? It does not use its quills until trust has been broken. And then it will in fact defend itself, right? But if you look at an animal, we've run across them in nature all the time here in the Pacific Northwest, they're actually really friendly little creatures. You can actually feed them by hand. If you're not being threatening to them, they're very curious, right? That's the medicine of porcupine, is innocence. That ability basically to look at the world through wonderment, through the eyes of a child, to keep that joy within yourself. And the story that goes with this particular medicine with porcupine is that porcupine was out playing one day and or foraging for whatever, living life, right? As porcupine does. And she comes across a log and she begins to ponder, was this log just put here for my enjoyment? And what are all of the things, what are all the possibilities that this log offers me? And she recognizes that she can get on top of the log and she can roll it one way and the other. And she can crawl inside the log and dig for worms, possibly get something to eat. And she can even use the rough bark to scratch her back on. And there's tons of possibilities. And as she's pondering what next to do with this playhouse nature has provided, she notices the approaching of bear. Bear is big and bear is black and bear is very, very gruff, right? So she's a big black bear approaching her and she says, "Bear, come and play with me." And bear says in all of his gruffness, "I don't have time for this, right? This is not what I do." But he's very surprised because there's a trusting in porcupine that he doesn't find in the other animals that he approaches. All the other animals are afraid of him. Even the other bears stick his nose up at him. And yet here is this small innocent porcupine offering to be his friend, to come and play. And she says, "Come and play on my log with me." And he says, "I don't have time for this." And she says, "But you do have time for this, because if you don't make time for this, then you're always going to be the gruff old bear that you are." And he ponders this for a moment. And he begins to think, it's like, yes, in his search for being an adult, in his search for being the bear, for being the ruler, so to speak, in control, he has lost his ability for wonder, for joy. In searching for intellect, he's lost that other part of himself, right? He's become too serious, too severe. And so when I pulled that today, the first thing that came to me is, well, yesterday I was a bit severe in my in a post that I made on Facebook. Right? And so this is what this message is for me today, is I need to watch my severity, because some people took that approach that I had in the post that I made as anger. Right? And it wasn't anger. It was me expressing myself in my own way. Right? But it taught me a valuable lesson that I need to be aware sometimes of how other people take my own personality. The flip side of that is that I also need to celebrate that innocence, that joy, that I need to go back to that part. Because when I go back to that part, the severity is lost, right? I can get back to what the intent and the joy was, or the funniness behind, or what I consider to be funny behind the whole thing, right? So, at any rate, the insight today is hold on to that joy, that wonderment. When you are walking down the street, instead of recognizing the trash that you see, look for the grass that's growing between the cracks of the pavement. Look for the flowers that are surrounding the sign that's been graffitied. Look for the beauty in life. Be innocent. Become like a child. Look at the world with wonderment. Remember those things that when you were young made your eyes get really big and go, just wow. It's one of the reasons that I particularly love to utilize mentalism in some of the work that I do with people, because it brings back that magic that we all have within us and that we all need to embrace, right? Particularly as adults in this society where we are so burdened with all of these have to do's and must do's and honeydews and the yabbits, right? Yeah, but I can't do this. And you throw all of that away. Look at all the things you can do. Look at all the opportunities you do have. My name is Anthony Getch. I'm with Excel Hypnosis in Seattle, Washington, and I'll turn the light on for you. Have a great day, everybody.